Welcome to another Pantheon developer stream. As you can probably guess, I'm pretty excited about this. Before we begin, let's talk for a second. Okay, so hi everyone. First of all, I'd like to welcome you guys here. Many of you probably have no idea what this is, so let's get started with that real quick. I am here today with a special developer stream of a game called Pantheon. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is a new MMO coming out at some point in the future. It is currently in pre-alpha, and today we're going to be playing with 5 of the developers from the studio to, well, basically show how much progress has been made. Today we're going to be fighting through a dungeon, and yeah, should be a lot of fun. Real quick, before I continue, I do want to make a couple things super clear. I am playing this as a fan. I am a huge EverQuest 1 player. This game is not really a spiritual successor to EQ1, but it is a game that is based more on the classical older styles, which is one of the reasons I'm super hyped for it, because there's not a lot of MMOs like this that have come out in the last couple decades at this point. So yeah, really enjoying it. This is not a paid promotion of any kind. This is me hanging out with the devs and just playing and having a good time. And really, on that note, that's about it. So, without further delay, let's go ahead and introduce Ben, who is going to be introducing the rest of the team, and he's going to let us know who we're going to be playing with today. So, Ben, take it away.
Thanks, Co. I'm glad to be here again. I'm Ben Dean, as Co mentioned. I am one of the game's producers and the director of communication. And with me are a few people, some you'll recognize, and a few new faces as well. We've got our Chief Creative Officer, Brad McQuaid.
Hey guys, very happy to be here. Today we're doing one of my favorite things, the classic dungeon crawl. So glad you guys could be here. Appreciate your attendance. And without further ado, Chris Perkins.
Hey everybody, Chris Perkins. You guys may know me as Joppa, creative director and lead game designer. I feel like it's been a while since we've done one of these, so I'm excited to be back, show off the zone, show off a lot of the progress we've made. And I'm also excited to have 2 of our new people here with us, not new to the team, but new to the stream. And we'll start with Mr. Tim Wathen, one of our game designers.
Real quick, while we're doing this, do you guys want to say what classes you'll be playing as well?
Yeah, so this is Ben Dean again. I'm playing the... What am I playing? I'm playing the Warrior. I'll be tonight's tank, this afternoon's tank.
I'm also playing a warrior, and I'm off tank because they won't let me be the primary tank. Probably for good reason.
It just trivializes the content, Brad, when you're the main tank. There's just no tension. Joppa here, I'll be playing the cleric.
And hey everyone, this is Tim Wathen, also known as Convo in the community. I'll be playing a wizard today. And I'm going to pass it on to Kim Morrison, who is our lead tester, and she definitely helps with a lot of the game design, too.
Hey, everyone. I'm happy to be here. This is my first stream with the team. I'll be playing the Enchanter today, so I'll be nuking and providing, hopefully, some mana to everyone. And, yeah, thank you.
Keeping things mezzed.
Oh, yeah. Mez, big time.
Good. Thank you, guys.
So shall we get started?
Oh, yes.
So today, as mentioned, we're going to do things... Okay, I've got 2 incoming, I think. I'm taking this first one, this front one. We're going to do things a little bit differently than we have in the past. We just kind of wanted to show you the real gameplay, so it's all going to be about the group today. We are doing this on a live pre-alpha server, so we may be running into other groups.
I'm going to guy on the right.
Players, isn't it?
Okay, pulling it off a bit. Oh, did somebody break the magic? No.
Alright.
Taunt! Here we go. So, sorry, go ahead, Co.
Oh, I was going to say, so I know we've been in here a few other times in our past... there we go. In our past journeys, but what is this dungeon we're in right now?
We are in Halnir Cave. I'll let Chris talk a bit more about it.
Yeah, we have. I was just remembering the other day that we'd done this dungeon with you before, so I thought this was the first time. But yeah, if you've seen this dungeon before, this is really close to the human starting city of Thronefast, and this dungeon is actually in Avendir's Pass, which is connected to Thronefast. And it's a It's the about level 7, level 8 is kind of the lower end range of the mobs in here, all the way up to right about level 20. Remember, these are non-instanced dungeons, so we're going to hopefully run into other players in here who've carved out camps for themselves or moving through. But you're also going to see kind of in our newsletter recently, if you've read that, you'll see. But if not, there's a really interesting melting pot of entities, NPCs in this zone that maybe we can get into in more detail once we see a few more of them.
Great.
So what just happened there is I pulled these 2 spiders. Those spiders they don't have many hit points, but they do hit hard, so we wanted to get rid of them first.
Those spiders are what we're calling ambient mobs. This is just one example of them, but essentially they're mobs that in most cases will exist in the environment, either coming out of holes or, in the case of the spider, maybe a little bit later in development, we'll have spiders who kind of spin a web down from the ceiling and land. But the idea is they come in, they wreak havoc, they're chaotic, they do a whole lot of damage, but they have next to no life, and so it just keeps groups on their toes, adds a little bit of some surprise to the encounters. We'll see more of those as we move through. There's actually 2 types of spiders in here like that, the Cyrachnid that we just killed, and then the Celis Creeper we'll see in a bit.
Very cool.
I'm missing the guy on the left again.
By the way, a quick note for chat, we're not going to be taking many questions during the stream. However, there are going to be times when they're going to prompt me for questions, and at that point I'll look over and try to pick some out of chat. But that's going to be kind of few and far between. Today we're going to be focusing on the dungeon.
Yeah, in the past I feel like our streams, we've tried to put a form and a structure around them and make them as informative as possible about the game in general, but just been excited to do more of a laid-back group, just crawl through the dungeon, talk about our classes, talk about the mobs, our abilities, what we're doing, what's happening. Excited to do that.
Mm.
Yeah, this is one of the first times that I've gotten to play kind of like a fleshed out character, because as I've told my stream, I'm doing my best to avoid the pre-alpha right now, because the last thing I have is time to play a game offline. And I know I'll get addicted the second I start. But one thing that's very interesting I'm noticing with this guy is this isn't a button spammer. I can't just use every ability the second it's up. I'm running into endurance issues all the time. So that's making this a lot more interesting.
Yeah, well, that's important to note, man. And interestingly, in the first few sessions of pre-alpha, a lot of the feedback was that the combat was feeling somewhat spastic, and it was because we had just switched over to this new ability system, and endurance wasn't working right at the start. It hadn't been rehooked up yet, and so there wasn't any limitation on the monk or the rogues or even the warriors, their ability usage. And now that we've gotten that dialed in again, feedback starting to come in that matches our internal experience, which is it feels kind of like it should now. As far as you have the freedom to choose, and endurance is a pretty fastly regenerating resource, but then you're also clamped as well, so you have to make more strategic decisions about which abilities you use, obviously, especially ones that have the higher cooldowns. So
yeah, and I'm also noticing a lot of the abilities now have like DOTs, passive buffs. Like this one here, the Blackjack kit gives me 50% speed for 6 seconds, so I need to make sure I keep enough endurance to use that while also wanting to do the damage stuff. It's
exactly.
There's going to be a lot of opportunity for rotational kind of configuration in this, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
a lot of reactionary stuff.
Yep.
You're going to notice something as we walk up here. If you get right close to this beam here, you're going to see a little pop-up.
Oh, this pillar looks ancient.
So, Chris, did you want to tell us a little bit about the perception system? I'm going to pull both of these.
Oh man, where do you start? Just to keep it quick, it's our way of bringing storyline to an open world game, and we want the environment just like here. You run by a pillar, and this is hard coded right now to go off. Doesn't have anything to do at this moment with being, having perception skill. It's more of a proof of concept in a way. But we got a message, and it makes this pillar all of a sudden more interesting, and so we're going to check it out here in a second and see what we find.
Man, I love that mez effect.
Yeah,
That makes
nice.
it real easy to see when they're locked down.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's nice to have that visual cue instead of just kind of guessing.
I think they made the particle effect bigger, so I'd quit breaking the mezes.
It was made for Brad specifically.
Yeah. Well, there's a normal mez visual effect, and there's a Brad mez visual effect. So we always patch in the Brad one when we do streams. Brad, I was thinking the other day, one of my strongest memories, development wise, was that really early on stream we did in Aventur's Pass, where you pulled, I think, inadvertently the entire civilization of orcs.
I remember that.
In that northern kind of snowy region. I mean, it was beautiful, and it was. I just remember laughing so hard, even just muting myself and laughing because I was laughing so hard at how you managed to pull so many. Of course, it had to do with our, we were still early in our like aggro radius and social aggro mechanics, but it was one of my favorite memories. Hopefully, you can pull something off like that this afternoon.
So, Ko, sorry, Ko, if you want to come around to the back here, where Mikhail is standing, you should get another cue saying that there's something in the rubble.
Shiny in the rubble, and I can click it now.
Yeah.
Oh! Nice! And there's a key.
So that's just kind of one of the examples of how you're going to be interacting with the environment to unravel stories and find secrets.
Huh.
We do have our first kind of fully fleshed out chapter, if you will, of the storyline in Thronefast. One of the first storylines that a keeper, someone who's involved in the perception system, kind of like you call it, a crafter is someone who does the crafting system. A keeper is someone who does the perception system, and we'll hopefully have a chance to show off that storyline on a stream here in the near future.
Which way am I going?
It wouldn't be a bad idea to take a left
from the
here.
right.
Okay.
By the way.
Yeah, let's get rid of this pather first.
Some of our observant, I shouldn't say observant. Some of our more fortunate CA testers may have noticed that the crew bosses dropped some pretty nice armor upgrades at this level, so it'd be good for Ben to grab a few of those. So there's the Cellus creepers we were talking about. Some more of the ambient mobs. Again, very, very low health, but they do a lot of damage.
Yeah, Chris, if you can, I mean, like you said, we've shown this dungeon before in the past, but it's received a visual revamp. The abilities are new. We've got new visual effects. The population is much more thought out. Bosses, sub-bosses.
Yeah, I was going to say, skeletally it looks like I've been here, but this is the first time I've seen it with the lighting effects, and it looks lived in now.
Yeah, it's part of our pre-alpha testing. People are in here, and it's much closer to, not being just a prototypical zone that we're working on, but an actual something we would ship with.
Yeah, definitely.
2 incoming. I'm working on the worker.
So a couple... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm mezzing the hand. Trying to, anyways.
We got ads.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that was my fault.
Oh, did you get the wrong one?
I misfired,
I'm gonna pull these
overclicked?
ones. I'm gonna slip them down a
it's
little
alright.
bit.
I'm getting them. I'll keep them mezzed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brad, do you
Least I
want
can
to
do
let you
is try to-
this other hand? Actually, this one's almost dead. I got it.
Okay.
We're in the mine hand next. Great, there we go.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
Just trying to find my attack.
You know it gets serious when everyone just goes silent.
Yeah, I'm just burning down.
Okay.
Just like the old days, man.
Going full convo here.
Oh man.
I'm gonna take one of those off you, Zoe.
Oh my lord. That guy there. Oh!
And you made him mad.
Yeah, just, you know,
I think we're on that
I
one.
created the mess. I figured I better keep him mezzed.
There's my aggro debuff there. So, a couple questions while we're doing this. Is there going to be gear that adds to endurance?
No, not any plans for that at this point. We're gonna, at least right now, the plan is to keep it at a 100-point pool. But there will definitely be gear that adds to the speed with which you regenerate endurance, and abilities that do that, and heal the actual endurance pool as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Almost like a melee DPS heal. That's an interesting idea.
And it works too. And now that you've experienced a little bit of the rogue, you can tell where that would really allow for some serious bursts.
Oh, yes. So another couple things, just real quick questions for people that may be looking at the user interface and thinking about in terms of old games. I have one hotbar available to me now. Are there more plans to add more hotbars in the future?
Well, it's tricky because our plan for a while has been to limit the amount of abilities that players have available to them at any one time. We've been, maybe more generous than some expected with the 12 slots that we have currently. None of that is set in stone, but the goal there is to try to make the decisions that you make meaningful, in that you're limited, and also you can't switch out abilities during combat. Right now, it's only the casted abilities that you can't. I'm pretty sure you can switch in and out actions, like melee actions, but we're still fine-tuning some of that. But that's the reason why you don't see multiple hotbars. Whether we will have more hotbars to accommodate things like non-combat related actions, macros, things like that, it's absolutely a possibility. We just haven't gotten there yet.
Very cool. And that was actually my next question. If you guys were going to allow macros, like the ability to put text in a hotbar or a hot button.
Yeah.
It sounds like you are in that degree.
Yep.
Cool. I have to admit, it's super clean with one bar. I'm not used to it. It looks really good.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, we really hope, especially with some of the boss mobs, you're going to have to configure. It's a situational, synergistic kind of thing where you choose different abilities depending on who what kind of mob you're going up against.
Got 2 incoming.
Mezzing the one on the left.
Okay.
The hand.
I'm gonna pull the boss back a little. Crew boss.
These crew bosses are the reason I wanted to come this way. So let's make sure and loot those guys.
On the boss.
Oh, cool. Isaiah just messaged me on Discord and said that the physical actions, like the physical attacks, were not able to be switched out during combat. So thanks for that clarification. And like I said, that's not set in stone yet, exactly how we want to handle that long term. We just know that we want the choice of your abilities to be something that you think through beforehand to an extent, to match the strategy of the fight and whatnot.
We're both taunting back and forth.
Yeah.
A little bit of ping pong there.
Oh, sweet.
And also,
That
just for the
leather
people
collar.
watching, we taught. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I'm gonna take that if nobody minds because I don't have anything in there.
I do it.
Oh, go ahead, man.
Cole, you'll
So-
notice in your chat box there the little the loot message that comes up. If you hover,
Oh.
well, if you click on the colored link there, you'll see the stats pop up.
I like it. So, will we be able to do all item linking in chat, so I can link things from my inventory on that it's equipped on me, things like that?
Eventually, yes.
Great.
Yeah, definitely.
Got 2 creepers here.
Was going to say we said what classes we're playing, but also we are all currently level 14. I don't know if you've considered any of the mobs in the area, Co, but these mobs that we're fighting are fairly low level, except for the crew bosses. The crew bosses are level 12 to 13. We're moving in here a little bit for the exact reason of what we just looted, to get some studded leather armor, which is a pretty significant upgrade armor class-wise. At least to get our warriors some extra gear. We're going to be moving into some really difficult encounters coming up, so it actually is pretty important that we get a little bit of gear on our warrior at least before we move in. So.
To answer a question from chat, Crude, yes, trade and crafting will be in the game. I don't believe it's in here now, but they're going to have... Crafting is, from what I understand, a pretty big pillar.
You can move up a little bit. So in this corner here for now.
Yeah, the harvesting crafting is a pretty major system, and we will be getting that in shortly.
Midwedge, I'm playing a rogue currently.
All right, could be a few. Are you ready, Kim?
Ready.
Okay, I'm going to work on the one on the left.
All right, I'll miss the guy on the right. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
Oh, shoot, sorry. I pulled.
Nope, I got it.
Okay.
Whoa. Get that aggro off. Oh, here's a quick question for you guys. Outside of mages and casters, well, I should say casters. Outside of casters, is there going to be any class that is ranged focused or have a large variety of ranged tricks?
Did you say outside of rangers?
Outside of spellcasters.
Yeah, definitely. So the ranger comes to mind. The degree to which, I hinted at this a little bit in the state of the game recently, but the degree to which they will be ranged versus, having some melee functionality, not quite ready to share yet, but they will certainly make use of a lot of ranged combat mechanics. Interestingly, the rogue as well, there's one ability in right now. I was trying to get another one in before this most recent pre-alpha session. I won't give any spoilers yet, but I love the idea of the rogue having some vials and some, more alchemy type things that they can actually throw into combat at a decent range that have, in the spirit of the rogue, all kinds of interesting effects. Smoke and Mirrors is the one right now where they smash the vial and it puts up that little bit of churning smoke that is a short-term mez, essentially, basically like a sap or blind. They're going to have a lot other interesting range, like shorter range, not at the length of a bow or a spell being cast, but some kind of mid-range abilities. Very interesting.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Another offhand question, when is Alpha scheduled if I pledge?
It's not currently.
There we go, great.
Currently announced. We're in pre-alpha now. Pre-alpha is going to have several phases. We're in pre-alpha phase 2 right now. And then phase 3 is coming a little bit later. But as for alpha, we haven't announced a date yet.
Is there a crew boss in there? If there's not, then we might want to just
skip it.
Move along.
I don't see it.
Yeah, we killed him already.
All right.
Okay. Heading back out.
Great. Dark Yega, Aradune is playing a human warrior. He's currently dual wielding, I believe. Or he has a torch. Maybe he hits with a torch. It could burn.
Normally I am dual wielding, but I've got the torch so that we can see things inside here better. It's pretty, without torches, it's a pretty dark dungeon.
Yeah, we've got respawns.
Which I think is great for playability, but when you're streaming, you want people to be able to see things more clearly.
So that brings up an interesting question. Are you guys planning on having environments that kind of require lighting and torches and things like that? Like if you just were to run in with no lighting, it would be kind of, quote, too dark kind of thing?
We got all sorts of respawns happening.
Oh Lord, yeah.
I'm gonna pull these guys up. I don't know if it's gonna help at all, but we're just.
I'll answer that question in just a second.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time.
Yep.
I think everyone understands. We on the worker? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is fairly mild in comparison to what we're going to be moving into soon, but it's still good to practice. Yeah. So to answer that question, simply yes. You know, with our atmosphere system, again, just a quick primer. We have extreme climates and atmospheres, and they're similar in that they both are environments in the game that have pretty dramatic effects on players, detrimental effects. But the extreme climates are kind of your natural phenomenon, things like frigid environment, scorching, toxic, things like that. Whereas atmospheres are more of your unnatural phenomenon, things that you would find in a fantasy world. And so darkness is one, what you would think of as almost supernatural darkness, or you know, darkness that goes beyond the natural. Whether we would have entire environments, like whole zones or areas like that, I don't know, but certainly there will be pockets where you will enter an atmosphere of complete blackness, and you know, it may be the torch and the range of the torch lighting is all you have. It could be that torches are even rendered ineffective in those environments, and so you're going to be focused more on sound cues or you know, other things that maybe aren't quite ready to share yet. So yes, darkness, lighting, those things will play a major role.
I got 3, but there was a pit boss, and I wanted to get him before he passed back.
Yeah, I'm getting him mezzed.
Boss
Everyone
first?
on the boss. Yeah.
Got it.
Did I just call him a pit boss? I think I did.
Yeah, you did. I wasn't going to say it.
Oh, to address this in chat, because I'm seeing this a little bit, the combat in this game is designed to be slower. It's designed so your group can't just kind of walk through the dungeon, especially when you get large amounts of enemies on you, like you've been seeing here. I mean, we only have three guys on us now, but this is the kind of thing where if you pull too many, you need to be thinking about an escape plan, and that's kind of the feel they're going for with the game. It's not necessarily, they don't want, you know, fast, big combat with lots of combos and stuff. It's much more about kind of a methodic grind through a dungeon. Slower pace, a little bit more tactical.
Yeah, tactical, strategic. And skill's gonna matter.
Which again, we're not really seeing right now. Like I said, this is these mobs are fairly lower level. They don't pose a huge threat even when they're ganging up on us like this. We will be moving into sections here shortly, though, that strategy will actually, you'll see it playing the role it's meant to play.
Oh, and to address another question, there will be assisting in the game. It's just not in here right now, but there will be assisting. Yeah.
Right now, it's a manual assist.
This is the what do you call this, Brad? The classic system.
The back in my day system.
Vintage.
We used to pick targets all by ourselves.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Didn't need a computer to tell us what to fight.
We used to play with our monitors off. And we liked it.
Power buff,
Tight-
Silicon.
Oh, now to be clear, Tight Notice says, so
dropped.
basically this game can't be played solo. No, that's not true. This game is angled towards group play, but there are certainly ways you can play it solo for sure. But that being said, you're not going to be fighting any, and correct me if I'm wrong here, guys, I don't think you're going to be fighting through any dungeons and killing bosses solo. Yeah.
Right. It's
Definitely not at appropriate level.
Yeah, it's mostly group, but then you've got on one end the solo content, and then on the other end the raid content, but with a primary focus on the classic group.
Yeah, you'll have some classes that find that they can fare fairly well solo. Typically, once you've out-leveled the content a little bit, in some cases maybe at level, but the norm will be players coming together to form even smaller groups. Doesn't have to be a full group necessarily, but having a couple of friends with you is going to be usually the way to roll.
Keep going straight, yeah?
We're going to turn right.
Turn right.
Is the warden up? We should see if the warden is up. I think he is. I see him. Yep, he's up. We should try him.
Try. Not kill, try.
Just on the word try.
Gotta try the bosses.
It's been really fun seeing testers in here take shots at the bosses. We've got some minor bosses in here. The warden. Okay. Here we go.
Lord.
Mezzing the ones on the left.
I just kind of
Focus
face
warden?
pulled that. I didn't. Yeah, focus on the warden.
Yeah, that was very elegant.
Well, I didn't realize that's such a monstrous accurate range.
For once, it wasn't my fault.
Uh-oh. I'm something. All right, there we go. I think. Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. I kind of doubled over for a second, it looked like.
Yeah, me too. Not sure. That's a little glitch.
This would be a good time to
No, it's not
our
a glitch.
game designer.
It's,
Why don't you
it's
speak a little bit?
Yeah, so what he's using there is just the warden shout, and it's basically a stun that he's AEing on us. So
That explains it.
So it's not a glitch. That's cool. All right. I take that back. Very cool. We're getting, there's been with the new ability system, it's not just the existing classes and future classes, but the guys have been hard at work giving the NPCs their own abilities and their own flavor.
By the way, just want to say I love this split combat window. This is going to be super handy.
The offensive and defensive targeting.
Yeah.
No.
Well, the offensive and defense, or the solo and group log on the bottom right.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember the night that Daniel Cran, our lead programmer, and I were working on trying to figure out a solution for what was just
Oh, there it is.
an unbelievable amount of spam, which we still... I am out of mana, guys, so
Good
GG.
luck.
I know, I was trying to weave some nukes in there.
Get in here and melee.
Brad, can you talk?
Hey, this is a great time to mention, though. You'll notice that our enchanter, which up until now has been nuking most of the time, my mana's been fine. But now that she's forced to cycle her mezzes and she's not nuking, then I'm now struggling to keep up mana-wise. So that nuke that she uses is every time she deals damage with that nuke, she's spreading a little bit of mental energy to the rest of the members of the group. So it's helping with, i.e.,
I have the one
a little
ready.
bit of a mana regen.
I'll go ahead and try to tank this guy here for a little bit.
We should be good now with the wardens down.
So, Mikhail, why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened since you just died there, about what that's going to mean and how you get back and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so you have several options, but right now I'm just going to wait till the combat finishes and hopefully get a res. Do you have res at 14?
I do.
Good.
I have revive.
Okay.
Rez is happier younger brother.
So when you die, you're going to... Well, actually, Chris can probably talk a little bit more about the death penalty, but... or if you wipe, If it's an entire group wipe, you're going to have to run back to get your corpse. Which, in most cases, you're not going to want to do. So death really does have meaning in this game, and you want to avoid it.
And one thing we did purposely is the death penalty is pretty severe. We may or we may not tone that down in future phases of testing, but it's always better to start more severe and then scale it back than make it weak and and then make it harder.
Uh-oh, someone just yelled train? Oh, Lord.
It's probably on the other side of the zone. I think we're all right.
Okay.
I don't know where they are. There were some ugly ones last night, really ugly. And then someone pulled the one boss at people.
We see some guy training 30 mobs to the group, and he's like, "Hi from the community!" as he runs off.
Probably a good time to mention, I mean, I know a lot of your viewers already know, but for any new ones, you know, we are not instancing. These are shared encounters, shared dungeons. You can help each other out. You got to deal with trains. You've got to have that situational awareness. So a little bit different there.
So, and this may be kind of an overarching question here for this specific thing, and feel free to just ignore it, but instancing came around when zones used to have too many people in them as a way to kind of dissuade from having like packed zones. Are you guys going to do anything to address that, or kind of let it organically work out, kind of like back in the classics?
The plan is to let it work out organically. I think that's one of those things that back in that time period, there weren't a whole lot of alternatives, and so it was seen as mainly a problem that was corrected. And now here we are on 10 plus years of it having been corrected, and I think people are realizing the charm in having shared environments. Yes, it's messy, and yes, it can be very frustrating at times, but I think we've had enough time without it now to realize what we miss about it.
The other thing too, awesome. I can say is, you know, back in the old days, you could only make a zone so big. I mean, you just couldn't cook a zone. The computers weren't powerful enough. The engine wasn't powerful enough. With what we've got, we can make ridiculously large zones, whether they're outdoors or indoor dungeons. And so that means you can have multiple groups in there, and you're not just running over each other all the time, which is kind of what happened in the past. So that's a kind of a advantage of the tech that we have now too.
It is, but you're going to also have situations like Halnir Cave, which, I mean, this is a large dungeon, but it's not sprawling. It's not vast and spacious. There's lots of tight corridors, and it's been interesting seeing the testing population in here. Things, you know, a few times getting a little bit heated. All in, you know, I mean, everyone's been a good support about everything so far, but it's just been really refreshing. It's the best way I know how to put it, to see players coexisting, competing even over spawns, over resources. It feels right. And yes, we're going to have big, large, spacious areas, and then we're going to have little pockets like this too, where, you know, there's going to be some real diplomatic socializing going on, and I think that's healthy. I think that's great. I'm really excited to see it come back.
Right, but this time we're in control of where we want funnels to exist and where we want open spaces, and we just didn't have those options in the past.
That's right. That's right.
So we can make it, you know, it's designed around playability and the types of encounters we want, as opposed to, you know, we've got to cram everybody in there.
Yeah. So this door here wouldn't have been able to open, but since we picked up that key, we can...
Oh, cool. So if we had not found that key at the beginning, then we just couldn't progress through here.
Correct.
Not a great example, because we don't want necessarily for the perception system to work as like a hard gateway. Lock. Yeah, we don't want it to necessarily be that way. Were this more of like a flavor area where you're going to run into some NPCs you can maybe interact with and learn some stuff about this dungeon? I absolutely think that would be part of what we could see. But something like you need a keeper to find a key to actually progress to the deepest content in the dungeon, probably not going to see that. That's why I said earlier it's more of a proof of concept right now.
I think we grabbed boss, guys.
Did we?
Someone
we
is fighting
did,
us through the door.
Sorry, Chris. Yeah.
Oh, no worries.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's.
I'm switching over to.
Should we be on air dunes right now?
Let's pull him out into this room here, so we don't get the roamer in the boss room.
Oh,
Pull him into this little entry room.
we got the roamer.
Should we focus boss right now?
Yes.
All right.
He's not moving though. I can't. Like, you know what? It's because LOS. I'm gonna try and LOS him around the corner here just to get
You
him
guys
out of
don't
there.
want to come out. Yeah.
Oh wow! So
Alright.
if I try to open the door and I'm in the way of it, it won't open. Oh lord.
I'm out of mana. Zoe, I need you nuking if you can.
Yeah, we've done like no damage.
Last
Yeah,
one.
sorry, I was trying to mez guys, but everyone was breaking.
So
A great example of NPC abilities here. This guy's doing all sorts of crazy stuff.
it's also a great example of the kind of pace we need to move at.
Oh!
without
Looking for
hitting
two
people.
Okay.
That's hard.
This is,
Well.
Yeah, there's a wipe.
yeah.
So do I have any feign death-like abilities? I don't.
The death ability.
Yes, I can die. That's a way to do it.
Everything down. Everyone down. There we go.
Oh man, that was rough.
I sense somebody's cheating.
It's just my commanding presence.
Should we go ahead and release?
Well, yeah, release or what's the plan?
No,
Okay.
just hang there. Coke and release. Coke and
look at all
release
these
and started
people.
it. Oh, cool. Did you zone up at the?
Oh
the
yeah.
start? Nice.
Yeah, there's a ton of people up here. This is awesome.
Real
Yeah.
people. Yeah, we're
Hi,
really
everybody.
excited. You know, in the past, we've had other groups in during the streams. They've been other Visionary Realms people. Now, this is our first time having real testers in there with us. We don't know what they're going to do.
Please don't train us.
Yeah. Well, we run the risk.
By the way, I saw this question in chat a minute. What is a dev stream? A dev stream right now is I currently, a fan of the game, not affiliated with the project, am playing with 5 people that are. The 5 people in this group are all developers of this game, Pantheon. We're currently playing the pre-alpha. You can find more information if you're interested at pantheonmmo.com. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And yeah, that's where we are right now.
Yeah, and just a reminder that we are in pre-alpha, so there's still a lot of testing phases to come. If our pledgers can gain access to some of the phases, we don't have pre-alpha is no longer available to newcomers because we've sort of maxed out there, but alpha will be available in our pledge packages.
Yeah, Phobos says, is the pre-alpha out? No. The Pantheon devs are doing something kind of outrageous by today's standards. Their alpha, pre-alpha, and beta all actually mean what that word means. So right now, pre-alpha is, they're still working on major components. It's a very closed thing. Everyone you see in here right now are people that have backed the project and are playing the game knowing that they're not playing an endgame product. They're playing a pre-alpha. So there's a pre-alpha, then an alpha, then a beta, and then the game gets released. So it's got a little bit of ways to go, but this is an actual pre-alpha, not like today's marketing standard terms.
Yeah, we avoid the term early access for that very reason.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, technically you're accessing the game early, but it's not. It's really not an early access game. It is really pre-alpha. So you're gonna. I think we showed on one of the previous streams. We even showed what the game was like in one of the cities where it was still gray boxing, so the textures hadn't been applied to the buildings or anything. That's the kind of thing that you see in pre-alpha, and it's not for everybody. That's sort of why we closed things off when we did as well. We had a number in mind. We reached that number, and we closed it off.
Summon you to the group, Co.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you. Ooh.
Let's,
Okay, so are these guys all? They're not really linked, but I don't know if I can split them.
No, they're not linked. That's for sure.
Oh,
But
look.
they are going to come together. 'Cause
I like
they're-
the corpse loot window. That's cool. There we go. Great.
Should we try him again, or her?
So we're starting to deal with more at-level content here. So plus the wraiths. Tim, I'd love for you to be able to speak a little bit
We have
about
an
some of
ad.
the abilities.
Oh no, guys, that summon you just saw. That's a dev thing. That's not an ability. It's not a class skill. We're just keeping things up.
In normal situations, we would have raised him back in. But in normal situations, our cleric would have died too. So.
Tim, why don't you speak a little bit about the abilities that you're seeing on those rates?
Okay, yeah, sure. So, a lot of what the Wraith does is just kind of crossover. So you'll see a lot of soul draining type mechanics. They'll take something like your armor class from you and attach it to themselves. So when you see yourself being hit with those beams, they're typically stealing something. And as you get deeper and you experience some of the other bosses, it gets a bit crazier. Some of the things they're doing to the players, just trying to bring that awareness back to the visuals of what's on you, debuff wise, and just make sure that you're positioned properly to just account for some of the things these wraiths are doing.
What about this boss? Be for us the equivalent of a player who's done this fight a few times, and give us a taste of what to expect from this boss.
He wiped us once. So he's nasty. He has some of his beams that he's doing, but he's also, he's loading you up. When he's nuking you, he's actually loading you up with a secondary bomb that's going off on whoever he hits. Some of the abilities, the curse bindings, it's resource draining you, but it's replenishing him. So there's just a lot going on. It feels kind of chaotic, but once you settle in and kind of focus, you can overcome it. But obviously with the added mobs that are coming with him, it just makes things a little bit more difficult.
All right, well, let's get a strategy together. So I'm seeing the boss plus 3 soldiers, which means they don't have a healer, they don't have a nuker.
My strategy after what Combo said would be to skip this encounter.
To log out and come back later.
Yeah, gotta go.
So the problem we're having is if Kim is playing Zoe, so I'll just call you Kim. Kim is your real name. If Kim is focused on mezzing and spending all of her mana mezzing and her time mezzing, then I'm not getting the mana feed that I need to keep up the hills for this fight. So it seems like a good opportunity to use an off tank. With Kim feeding me mana, it'd probably be easier for me to keep 2 tanks up while we focus the boss than it would be to try and heal everyone and run out of mana. So I would say let's focus the boss. Kim, you focus on just feeding mana by nuking the boss, and either, I guess, Brad, if you want to round up 2 soldiers that come, let's try to pull it at a time when we're not going to get the 3rd one. And Brad, you can round up the 2 soldiers and keep them on you.
Yep, repops.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Sounds
Okay.
good to me.
So I'm kind of glad that these spawned now instead of while we were in the middle of the fight.
Yep.
By the way, I really like the decision to make the red border aggro on you and not when you're auto-attacking. Because I was like listening to you guys and just looked at my screen and noticed the entire screen lit up when I got aggro. That was kind of great.
There you go. I'm wondering too, it might not be a bad idea.
Here we go.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a bug right in this general area where some of the mobs are being aggroed through the floor. We have a fix-in for it, but we just didn't get it in for this new build. So that's why you're seeing some of these mobs roll through like this.
Let's try and keep the same strategy though.
Yeah, I don't think we have the boss. This could actually work for us.
Yep.
I think I want to make sure I'm on the right one here.
Yeah,
there we go.
I'll sort of split them out.
Perfect.
Great thing about these wraiths is they drop some no rent items that are pretty decent upgrades to the weapons that we have right now. So make sure you loot.
For anyone that's not an old school player, could you identify no rent?
No rent means you log out or you zone, and they go away. They poof.
So you have to use them on that character on that run.
That's right.
Temporary power. Kind of like a Prius.
Hallam Jow, I think they're still nailing down their exact plans for how people are going to be able to traverse around the world and mounts and things like that.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's see. We're on this guy. There we go.
Yeah, on the left one.
Out of curiosity, is there an indicator that shows which way these guys are facing? Because I just noticed if you get right behind them and look at them, it looks like they're looking right at you from behind.
Oh yeah.
They're facing you wherever you stand.
It's the Mona Lisa of mobs.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm working on Aerodunes here. Yeah, switch over.
Oh, it's all good. We both gotta die at some point.
Another random question while we're fighting here. Bowser was wondering about name reservations for pledgers and how that's going to work. If that's even something you guys are thinking about yet.
I think we have name reservation in some of the pledges, don't we? I'd have to double check.
We'll see if we can get you that info later, Bowser.
Well, that's the AoE stun that they do is crazy.
We were fortunate to get all soldiers.
Zerker, there is no release date yet for the game. They're in pre-alpha now, then they have alpha, beta, and then release. So it's a little bit off, but it's making a lot of progress.
Yeah, so early name reservation comes at the very in all of our pledge packages.
There you
go. We don't have the details yet. Probably going to be first come first serve because obviously there's going to be some potential for overlap there. But
whoops,
we got an ad. And it looks like Brad has a curse on him.
A curse?
Appears that way. Oh, looks like it wore off on you. Yeah.
That was that big purple graphic.
Well, one of the things we're doing with groups of mobs such as the Wraiths or the Ratkin that are in here is they all have this, I wouldn't say an innate ability, but they all share a similar ability that they can all inflict on you. So, for instance, the Wraiths, they have a thing called Fade and Presence where they kind of shift you over to another dimension, so to speak, and with that, your run speed reduces, your attack speed reduces, things of that nature. And an example for the Ratkin is they have a disease on them, so at any one point you could be clawed and have that disease inflicted on you.
Cool.
Basically like an iconic ability that the Wraiths all share amongst themselves, and then the Ratkin, it's called Drawn Sickness. The Ratkin are they're drawn to the caves, they're drawn to the crystals in the cave, the Celestium crystals, those green crystals you may have seen, and part of that exposure over time has developed this disease-like plague that they have a chance to spread to players, and it could be that we evolve that ability to also have a chance to spread to other players as well in proximity. But I know that Tim and Corey have done a really good job, and Justin, our lead writer, as well. I've been privileged to be in most of the meetings when we're kind of conceiving a new NPC and the different types of abilities. Basically, encounter design, we're designing the NPC conceptually as far as visuals, but then also taking a look at the abilities they use. And it's the wraiths are probably my favorite right now. We'll see it as we get a little deeper. It's kind of organized chaos in a way. It's a lot of fun. And it's hard to tell what's going on all the time, but that adds to the challenge. And looking forward to that. Let's make sure we loot up. Did you guys?
Yeah, I was gonna say I grabbed a nice no-rent sword, and I saw a pair of nice gloves over here somewhere.
I just snagged them.
Grab them?
Yeah.
Well, okay, cool, great. Yeah, there's some on there. It looks like.
You might want to.
I think Ben just ninja looted some pretty cool handguards.
I sure did.
Yeah, I did. All right, we need to get in here.
Yeah. Are we gonna fight him in here now?
I think that's a good plan.
Okay. I'll just rush to the back and start tanking over there. And Brad, if you want to grab the 2 ads and just off tank them in some other corner or something.
Roger that.
Yeah, let's split corners.
Okay, here we go.
Everybody else, everybody
If we
follow
get through the
Mikhail.
door.
All right, here we go.
Everyone who's not Brad, follow Mikhail.
Oh no! I'm sorry. Did you say ads first, or just burn the name?
We're on the names.
Got
Brad's the only one on the ad.
Perfect.
On the ads.
Yeah, he keeps on regenning.
Is he healing himself?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm hitting for pennies.
Yeah, we might need some levels for this. I'm not sure.
Also, a lot of misses. What's this guy con? Oh, he's yellow. Okay. No wonder.
The other guys are getting an even con. And I'm not doing much damage at all.
No. We're pretty low on DPS in this group anyway.
Oh, there's a big heal on the mob.
Healer's out of mana.
We're about half health in the main mob right now.
Yeah, if you have a stun, definitely use it.
Made my last heal for a few seconds.
Okay.
I could use my smoke bomb on a mob if that'll help.
Will it even work on the boss?
No, I just use it on the mob.
Oh, I see. Oh, there I go. Tank down.
It's cool, I got this.
Brad, can you? Oh, Brad's not doing it. Both tanks.
Oh god! Oh, the pain! Oh jeez.
John are pretty close to death.
If we focus the name, we may be able to get him down. I'm almost dead though. I'm just doing everything I can here. Ah, there we go.
Just a bit more. Anything left than anybody know.
Yeah, we may need to burn down the ads first. If we can control the fight enough.
We got it so close though. Like
That was pretty close.
that was like what 3% health left. I'm just gonna release. Let's just do a summon. Make it easy on ourselves.
I see a
This is
naked
what I
arrow,
did.
dude.
That was a good fight. That was a good fight. I think we just don't
Yeah,
have the DPS
yeah.
to burn the boss, so
We got
we'll
really
need to
close.
drop the ads first.
Okay.
Oh, and here's the only race we don't have in our party here. Ooh.
Two of them are the ogre and the archive, right?
Yeah.
Chris, are you doing the summons?
Yep, I can. You guys ready?
Yeah.
want my gear back.
I know, Airdude. That's a good look for you.
Thanks, man. I've been hitting the gym.
Lazarus, love it, buddy. Love it.
So if you target your corpse and type /corpse, you'll be able to drag it out.
Ooh.
Everybody's trying to open the door at the same time. He's going back and forth.
Need to be closer. Oh, you know what? I have the tools for this. Where's my hide and sneak?
There you go.
All right.
Thinking like a rope.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is kind of my specialty. At least it should be. Please don't kill me, mobs. Apologies in advance if I wipe the group. I'm trying to get close enough. Do I have to target it too? Right as type /corpse.
Yeah, I guess you have to target it.
Oh god. Oh god. There we go. I think it said dragging, but it's not moving. Could it be because I'm stealth, maybe? Try again. Need to be closer.
It might be
I was able to do it from the doorway. Just target and right click.
Are these guys really not aggro to me right now? No, he is. Oh, they all are. I'm gonna try to do some ninja looting here. Although, no, that'll probably pop me out of stealth, and then I actually would die.
Yeah.
Can I just run in and loot it when the fight starts?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, I don't do it that way. Yeah, it just seems to be a bugged corpse right now.
Yeah, it's all good. Bugs in a pre-alpha? How dare you?
Go figure.
How dare you? All right, let's do it. Ready when you guys are.
Okay, same plan, except we're taking out the ads first, yeah?
Yep, aggro in the back. Crew boss.
Oh. Pit boss?
The pit boss? Is the pit boss back?
Yep. He thought we were counting cards.
You thought I was a rogue, but I'm actually a hidden monk. Get those punches in. I don't think this combat music was in last time I played. Some good stuff.
You know, it would have helped if I turned auto attack on.
Yeah.
We don't do much damage anyway, Ben.
Yeah, chat, for the record, if you're looking at my combat log, I know it says Pierce. I think it actually is still registering my equipment as on, from the looks of it. Which, again, whatever, it's pre-alpha. It's fine.
All right, we're ready to charge in?
Ready here?
Let's do it.
All right, burn the ads.
Must be. Not even gonna worry about it. We are. I'm gonna be on Aerodunes. Yeah, these guys are like the four at the damage.
Looks like the boss is kind of stealing our mana. Do we need to move away, or?
Yeah, is it range? Does it have a range on it? I can't LOS him in this room though, so he's just gonna stand.
Definitely
Oh,
does
yeah,
have
it's
range.
almost down.
Tim's down. No, he's not. You're just out of mana.
Yeah, I'm just out of mana.
Zoe is getting beat up over there.
What's the ad status? What, I mean, are we close to downing
One ad is almost down. Other ad's on Zoe.
It should be down.
Ad's down.
Alright,
One ad's down.
fix that.
Right. Zoe, get close to me so I can get your
Oh, max down.
Tank down.
Ah, damn.
Boss is loose.
Oh, he's zapping me.
Just gonna try to burn this ad down.
The pain.
Back in here with the boss by himself.
Yeah. Yeah, if we do end up wiping, if we move quickly, the 2 ads will still be down. That'll make it exponentially easier.
Oh no, S Venom, I don't believe restrictions have been put on items yet. So if you're wondering why I could wear those plate gauntlets, I think that's just because restrictions aren't yet.
Yeah.
It's the same reason I think our enchanter is wearing some, looks like some leather and chain and stuff.
Well, that's because that's a preset model. We the clothing hasn't been done for it yet. Just the human male.
Restrictions are actually in, so that would be an example of something to bug. If you're able to wear something you don't think you should wear, then that's something I'll take note of.
Oh great, okay.
Like meat on your head. We had one mug where you could put
Head
some
pan.
meat on your head.
There's an ad. There's an ad. Just be careful. Behind you to the left, Brad.
That air dune's on is at like 20%. If there's anyone left alive to finish it off.
Finish him.
Oh. This is gonna be rough.
Oh boy.
So close.
Jeez.
Almost down. Oh no!
Oh. That was intense.
Blow him up. Blow him up.
Shoot
Come
time.
on, guys. He was almost
There.
there.
Hey, grats, Quanvo.
Oh, combo.
Yeah, fuck, I'm going down in style here.
Our misfortune is your gain, apparently. So did you ding off of that mob or from our deaths? I guess is the question.
Probably both.
Oh, there goes.
By the way, guys, there's a lot of great questions in chat. We're not going to be able to get to all of them. Whenever we have some downtime, we'll pull some more questions from chat. Appreciate the patience, guys.
I see a little downtime coming right now.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. There we go. That's a good point. Suplup is wondering what kind of role shamans are going to be having in the game.
Oh man, well, I think shaman are in a pretty good place right now, as far as their identity goes. And shaman are, if you're familiar with the old EverQuest bard, that was some of the inspiration for me with the shaman, which is that they, as a priest archetype class, a healing support class. I love the idea that shaman were also able to be very proficient in dealing damage, usually through damage over time abilities. So that's certainly in place for the shaman. They have some of the best dots in the game right now, and will continue to have some pretty awesome dot presence. But they're also slowers. They're resistance manipulators.
I got the boss.
Wait, just the boss? This could be perfect.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay. Sorry to cut you off there.
That was all intentional.
Masters of Overtime is one way I would think of the shaman.
Very cool.
Someone open the door for
Oh no! Man, this guy hits like a truck.
Hey, Brad, are you locked behind this door?
Yeah.
He's got an ad on him too.
I tried to get out before the ad, but
Brad is just taking us out here.
Rollick 101, yes, there's definitely reses in the game. We're a little low level for reses. We're only level, this group's 14, but there definitely are reses in the game. Yeah.
and we're down again.
Boop. It's okay, I get to keep coming back and saying hi to all these folks. That works.
Exactly, yeah. looks like it. Yeah, it looks like there's a group further, just a little bit further from the spawn point there that are going at it. Looks pretty cool from the distance.
Oh man, that rat graphic.
So just a reminder to our viewers, if you like what you see, we invite you to come on over to pantheonmmo.com. There's plenty of pledge packages available. This project has been primarily funded through crowdfunding, so we want to thank our backers. And if it looks like something that you're interested in, we welcome you to join us.
I think the boss is camping our corpses here.
Yeah, he is.
I love that we're in pre-alpha, yet we're having all the same classic issues that we would on live. Oh, boss is camping our corpse. Oh, was that a spawn during the mob fight? Oh, no.
Maybe if I just open the door for him here.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't have a key. Is that what you're thinking?
Just to answer a quick one, Ribbons Allmark is wondering, how does the class system work? Ribbons, you just pick your class at the beginning of the game. There's going to be a variety of races and classes you pick from. You pick those when you create your character, and then you just go into the game and go from there. Yeah. And V Pathfinder, just to reiterate, no, I am not a developer. I'm not even like a sponsored person. I am just a fan. I'm a huge EQ1 fan. I basically grew up in Norath. I'm a big fan of these types of games. And this is kind of the next big classic MMO coming out. So that's one of the reasons I've been enjoying. Oh God, what is this? Okay, boss is here. But yeah.
All right, let's roll.
All right.
Was it just me, or did I see an air dune slide across my screen there for a second? There you go.
That's that special War Wizard charge I heard about, right?
Yeah, it's deceptively slow.
I don't have a whole lot of hit points either right now.
Oh yeah, he just sprayed my mana big time.
Quick question, with a no rent item, if I die, I realize in pre-alpha it may be bugged or something, but is the plan for no rent items to disappear on death as well?
No, they won't disappear on death.
Cool, okay.
We want to be punishing in death, but we don't need to rage quit. Permanent death. You have one life in this game. That's it. Then it deletes your hard drive.
And your bank account, all of it. It's all gone. Your resume, trash. Birth certificate, gone.
Well, like Brad was saying earlier, we wanted to start more severe, and then we can always taper it off from there, you know.
We want death to mean something.
A real quick question, and this is actually, there's a long answer to this, but just a quick one here. What is the appeal of a game like this compared to a more modern style of MMO such as WoW or Black Desert? Ganders, just a quick answer to this.
Got him, finally.
These games are much more about the social group aspect. They're a little bit slower, a little bit more tactical, and most importantly, a game like this isn't going to hold your hand between quest hubs and walk you through all their content to the end game, and then when you get to the end game, give you that little variety of end game things to do. This game is much more about, like the old school games, is much more about just existing in a full and interesting world. You go where you want to go. Primarily, you're just killing mobs and getting experience, although this game is opening up some doors in that regard. But the classics were like that. And it's much more... And granted, Black Desert's not super like that. You can actually play this way in Black Desert, but it also has the quest grind. But the best way to... The TLDR is this isn't a theme park MMO, if you've heard that term. And almost every MMO coming out these days is a theme park MMO, where they give you activities to do. These games are more about finding other people, exploring the world together, and most importantly, not having a predefined track to move through. So that's the appeal. That's a personal answer to that question, but I'm sure the devs also have their answers as well.
Yeah, I like the term shared experience. There seems to be something with human nature where if you succeed or you wipe or whatever happens, if you do it with other people, it's just a lot more memorable and a lot more fun. I still hear stories from people who played EQ years and years ago, these amazing, triumphs or failures, and it just really sticks in your mind. And this game is designed to be a home. Retention, it's all about retention and playing this game and building your character up for months, if not years.
Okay, shall we move?
Ooh. And what we got? We got a Fade-Torn Quarterstaff. Oh, that's a nice one. Wow. A no rent, too. Ooh.
Let's move on down.
To inch your way down here.
Dark. Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a door there.
Oh. Little sneaky passage.
Oh, and for anyone talking about the bugs, keep in mind, this is pre-alpha. The game isn't even in alpha yet. This is a pre-alpha. All the bugs you're seeing now will be gone before live. Well, hopefully. 99% of them, let's say that.
We've got just like a party going on here.
Yeah. Oh!
Yeah, it's definitely best to stay by the steps area for now.
Does the Enchanter have an AoE mez by chance? Or a little too early? A little early. Okay.
We can at least get the soldiers down.
These guys don't hit nearly as hard, so...
Yeah. I'd like to know how Tim got so much XP.
I cheated.
Dev cheat.
No, I was at my bottom at 15. Maybe a couple extra earlier when I was playing some offline, but
I'm only like halfway through my XP bar right now. Alright, going after this Mender. I'm gonna try and split it out a little bit. It's kind of hard to pull these guys.
Oh.
We got two more.
definitely
That's
have a
my
lot
own
going
fault.
out here.
That might have been my fault there.
Yeah, we've identified that already, and there's already a fix in the works for that and some of the persistent issues that we're seeing. Which is nice. Our programming team jumps on stuff really fast.
Yeah, so it's sort of hard to pinpoint the one that I'm attacking, but we all need to be on the same one because they're just healing each other right now at this point.
Are we on the Mender?
Yeah.
Yep. We're on one of them. There's three of them.
The one that
Mikhail
is facing.
Let me see. I'm gonna try to smoke the far one.
Okay.
Ben, could you step back?
Yeah, it's just... Do I have to LOS them? Like,
They have a
I'm gonna
ranged
try and-
attack, I think, is the issue.
That's
Yeah,
the
they
thing,
have no desire to follow us. Like,
I can't get them out of
There's
the
actually
walls.
4 Menders.
Yeah, it's just stuck in that wall. He's not. Which is gonna make it great to backstab. I'll try. You know what? I'm gonna
think I
flip
can
him
do
around a little bit, and maybe you can
Give him a
get
flip,
behind
Ben.
him. Yeah.
Oh, this guy. Okay, we're making some progress here. Here we go. I'll just have to not backstab for a little bit, but that's fine. There we go. One down.
Yeah. I'm gonna find another Mender to work on. How about this one?
Perfect. There we go. Is there a limit to group size? Yes, 6. 6 is the max group size right now. Although, are you guys planning on extending that at any point?
We're pretty happy with it this far. I wouldn't set it in stone. And when we get into the guild system and how that can vary, the raid system, things, we can mix it up a little bit. But for right now, we're looking at 6 for the group.
Great.
Working on this next mender.
Got it.
Up against the wall.
So you might want to move over here where I am, just kind of get out of the range of some of their AEs.
Some of our thinking behind the 6-man group is you've got the 4 primary roles, right? Tank, DPS, mage, crowd control, and then you've got 2 extra slots to kind of mix it up a little bit.
Is that all the menders? I think so, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Alright, working on the mana weaver.
Okay.
Nice recovery there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking. I thought it was grim, but I think we're okay.
Tim and I were talking today that these, in our push to get things ready for this past session of pre-alpha, that we didn't have a chance to come in and tune these guys. So I can say with confidence we would not have survived that had they had their tuning pass, specifically on the damage of the Mana Weaver's damage up. But
We got an ad behind this wall, it looks like. Or it's in the wall. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah. Good calling. There's a quarter, one of those no-rent quarter staffs on there, too.
Actually, there's a fix for that too. The mobs in the wall.
Oh, I just thought it was a ghost. I mean, ghosts can go through walls, right? Yeah. I don't see any bugs anywhere.
I was just talking to one of our programmers.
I think I can hit him from here.
Is there invisibility? Oh, absolutely. I was showing this earlier. If you look, just this rogue has a hide ability, shadow walk, which is like a actual movement stealth ability, and then a sneak ability where you remain silent, but you have to actually stay behind the enemy. So, like if you see where Eridoon is, the only way that this sneak would work is if I'm actually physically behind the mob. In that case, they wouldn't see me if I had sneak on. But if I get in front of them, then they would see me just like it wasn't even on. So there's lots, and I'm sure there's also going to be, I'm assuming, invisibility spells and things of that nature as well. Invis to undead and stuff, is all that good stuff.
Definitely.
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice.
there'll just be a few more limitations, like, in some of the older games you could invis and then reconnaissance the entire dungeon with impunity and map it all out, and we're not big fans of that.
Got 2 more incoming. Let's take the mender first.
Got a third, right?
Back.
Is there a third?
One just came repop behind us. And
Oh, repop already?
well, yeah, that.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, because they roamed up when we were trying to take the boss. I'm making it. Okay, we're not doing any damage to this mender.
Oh boy.
Called out targets. What are we on?
Yeah, we're on the
It's
mender
just
here.
this-
Oh,
is there a
there's
solo
there's
mender?
2 menders.
There's a solo mender in the corner near the door. Morgulis, that's a great question. I'd be surprised if they had an answer to it, but you guys got time for a quick one?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. So I'm an old school EverQuest player, but back then I had a lot of time for gaming. Now I have a job and a family. How are the devs tackling the problem of time for gaming? And I'm assuming he's talking about in terms of older school players that may have had a lot of time, but don't necessarily do now.
So the dungeons and adventure areas are being designed so that you can play with approximately 2-hour sessions, and then camp out and resume your adventures. The next time you and your buddies get together. So I mean, there's nothing stopping you from doing some an epic 8-hour play, but you're not going to feel compelled where it's all night or nothing. We're definitely keeping that in mind. We definitely understand that our player base has grown up, you know, have spouses, kids, responsibilities, jobs. Definitely keeping that in mind.
Very cool.
Can
Run the second member, right? Yeah. Okay.
we can once this round is done. Let's rebuff.
All right.
Can we mind grabbing that mender on me?
There's a third mender?
Well,
It's a mana weaver, I think.
I see a soldier.
Oh,
on
I'm
you.
sorry, a mana weaver. Yeah, he's just sapping.
Oh, the
the
mana
Mana
weaver.
Weaver.
Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to keep him as, but
Yourself.
people kept on breaking him.
See, that's when
Okay.
you have to stand up and start naming names.
Let's do the soldier that's beating on Combo's face.
Unless it was me, in which
Thanks,
case,
man.
don't worry about it.
Uh-huh.
So, out of curiosity, what is the plan for skill acquisition? Am I going to get a level and then instantly those abilities are going to appear in my abilities journal? Or am I going to be finding trainers, doing quests? How's that going to work?
Yeah, that's how it works right now, just for the sake of testing, to make it as easy on the testers as possible to get their new abilities and jump right back in. So the plan longer term is for your lower level players up to a certain point, maybe it's level 10, maybe it's level 20, we're going to get most of your abilities, the core set of abilities, from trainers that'll be scattered around the starting area and the first flow zone. But around level 20 or so, you're going to start finding abilities
Mana weaver
as
next.
drops in dungeons. You're going to be finding special trainers, class trainers in dungeons that you have to find and interact with to get certain skills. And I would like to see that starting to trickle in here pretty quickly. As a matter of fact, I was hoping to put a few dropped abilities in for this last session of pre-alpha testing that we just had, and just didn't quite have the time to get it in. So we're definitely intending on doing that, and very close to getting that in for the players.
So let me just make sure I understand this correctly. You're saying that I could live out my dream of finding an old man on the top of a snowy mountain and learning an ancient skill from him?
It's not just a could, Co.
Yeah, it's a should.
It is a you will.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no more of just sitting in one place and power leveling all the way up. You're going to have to be exploring the world and finding these sages and learning, not just getting great loot, but learning your abilities and things like that.
Excellent, excellent. So it's not just going to be like when you come up on a level 22 rogue or a level 40 rogue. It's not just going to be like every rogue's going to be the same. It's like, how traveled is that rogue? Has he gone around the world and met all his trainers and gotten all his skills and gotten his drops? I mean, two level 40 rogues side by side could be completely different depending on how much time they've spent on developing
Absolutely.
themselves.
And the third guy who didn't bother to adventure around the world is going to be at a significant disadvantage.
That is awesome. That is so cool. On that note, interesting question. So with that much versatility, are you guys going to make it so other players can view what a player has accomplished without having to ask them?
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some form of inspect. I think, you know, some players want to be more private. Maybe they can toggle that off. But inspecting another player, seeing what kind of gear he has, what kind of abilities, where they're at, I think that'll be part of the game, yeah.
Very cool.
The question is sort of phrased in a way like, I don't know if they're necessarily talking maybe like an achievement system or something like that. I don't think that's been spec'd out yet. Again, still in development, so. But it's a cool idea.
Very cool.
The main thrust of it is you need to move around the world, explore, and learn about the different areas, and not just stay in one spot.
Are we done with the buffs?
We are done
Whoa.
with the buffs.
Here's Madaki porting around town. He's our GM for this session for the players.
Oh, cool. Appreciate your help, Madaki.
In the interest of time, should I just keep on going straight down the hall instead of doing these side rooms?
Yep.
May end up getting the side room ads anyway, but
It might not be a bad idea, though, to pull back a little bit and not fight right in front of the...
yeah, I was trying. But again, as a caster, I have to LOS them if I want to. Check something out here.
Oh, will Pantheon come to console? I don't believe there's plans for that right now, guys.
Not right now, no.
Yeah. If it happens, it would be after launch. We really want to focus on the PC right now.
Understandably. Run the soldier.
Sorry, on the Mana Weaver.
Mana Weaver. Ravelix, no, to answer your question, we talked about a little bit about this at the beginning. Our party is a level 14 kind of default party. We're not really well geared. Nobody in the party's super powerful or anything like that. That's one of the reasons we've been wiping, is because this is, this is actually a challenge to this party for sure.
Just thought I'd throw it out there too. If any of our viewers out there are going to be at PAX East, we will be showing the game there. You'll get a chance to demo it yourself too, like giving a little bit of hands-on time, but the space for that is very, very limited. So if you are coming to PAX East, want to check it out, I advise getting to the booth as soon as you can and signing up. We'll have a sign-up sheet to get a slot to try it out for a bit.
There's an upgrade for your weapon there, Ben.
Cool. Yeah, I'm really bad at looting. I just don't loot. Just terrible. But I guess I'm grouping with the wrong people typically because I'm used to not getting any loot, so I don't even bother trying anymore.
You got mad.
Alright, soldier.
We're going to start getting repops down here, so it might be a good idea for us to move up just to about this column.
Stuck.
Oh,
There we go.
I just GM shouted and said GM say it. But anyway.
By the way, I see a lot of very helpful people answering people in chat for some of the more basic questions being asked. Big thank you guys on that. And on that note, if you ask a question in chat, please keep reading chat, because there's a good chance if I don't answer you, someone in chat will. Also, shout out to the Pantheon community. I see a lot of new faces in here from the Pantheon forums, Reddit, and website. Thanks for stopping by, guys.
Yeah, much appreciated.
You guys have a very, very helpful community.
Yes, yeah, we do. Our community's pretty amazing.
Yeah, they've been unbelievable. Can't say enough about our pre-alpha testers. They've just been incredible.
Here you go, Ben. Come get some gear, please,
thanks.
for the sake of all of us.
Where?
Right in front of me.
Which one? I can't loot it. Oh, I'm attacking, that's why. I'll
While
turn
they're
attack
doing
off.
Krylon, yes, all of this will be available later on my YouTube, and I think the Pantheon devs will also have a copy as well.
Oh,
I already have
got
the.
right here.
Actually, no, I don't have the chest card.
Soldier on
That
area.
amulet, that's insane. I'll let grad tank for a while I put on my new Uber loots.
oh boy.
What's
Line
the
up.
what stats on your main hand dagger, Co?
My main hand is currently a giant spider fang, 1-7, 2.5 DPS.
Okay. The wraith right behind you. There's a dagger on that.
Withered worker is walking.
Oh man, poor guy. He's out of his element down here.
I'm taking this earring too. That's a nice one.
We've got a mender here. I'm gonna mez him.
Okay.
Wait, what is this? Is this an earring? I guess oh, can we equip in combat?
Yeah.
I don't know if rogues can wear that.
Oh, okay.
What do you want us on next, Kim? The mender or the worker?
Yeah, probably do the mender.
Okay.
Is there a way yet to see?
I don't think we need to get on the worker.
Okay, I'm on the
It's
mender.
already.
Okay.
Yeah, the soldiers aren't too bad.
What did you ask, Ko? What was your question?
I was wondering if there was a way to see who can use an item yet, like what classes and races.
It's coming. It's probably going to be in the next patch,
Perfect.
but not yet. If you try to equip it, it should give you a message that says your class can't equip it.
Yep,
But
Ethereal Stud
doesn't-
cannot be used on roam. I see that on the bottom left. Cool. In that case, would anyone like this stud? How do I link in chat? Click.
Type
Can't
out
link
all
it
the
in
stats.
chat, yeah.
Oh, I gotcha.
That's coming soon as well.
Man, I remember those old days where you had to do that. You had to like type out the stats of your stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
Lincoln didn't come in until Lucklin.
Nope. In fact, I remember spending my days in North Freeport basically typing out entire blocks in Notepad of like an item, and then in parentheses all the stats. Then selling this item, all the stats.
Yeah.
Oh my lord, I had pages and pages in Notepad of saved item stats for that exact reason.
Yeah, I remember that. Gosh, yeah, we did the same thing. Especially when you did like a plane of hate raid or something, and it's just like
Another ad.
Okay, taking out this soldier first. Leave the mana weaver to for CC.
Yeah, Garmanus, I know a lot of servers use the Commons tunnel, but on my server I was on Vishan and then Saren, and we use North Freeport.
Yeah,
Every other server had their own flavor.
I was on Tunari and we did ours was G-Fay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or G-Bay, as we started calling it. That's
When I recently played EQ on a progression server on Agnar, and they used Commons, and they used another weird zone. What was it? I don't remember. But I think there was some in Row too. It was weird. But anyway, It's Not Dave says, is there an AA system in consideration for more diversity? Well, It's Not Dave. Earlier they were talking about how you have to go around the place and get your skills and sometimes loot them and find them. AA specifically came in expansions in other games, so I don't know if a game would actually start with that system. Hey, grats. That being said, guys, do you have anything planned like that? Like a skill point style AA system on release?
No, not on release.
Yeah, figured as much. But to go back to what Chat said though, I'm also a huge fan of the AA systems, so maybe we'll see that in the first Pantheon expansion. We'll see.
Maybe.
Ways off. One Punch Mac, AA equals alternate advancement. Alternate advancement was a way to where if your character was max level, you had all the gear that you would want, you would, instead of leveling up, you'd get AA points, and then you'd spend them in like a wall of potential skills. It was, all AA means is alternate advancement. It's a different way to progress your character. Lots of different games have used lots of different systems to do that, but that's all it means. It's basically progression past max.
I actually remember being in the meeting where we kind of came up with that, and it was when we went from 50 to 60, but it was really slow each level, and we said, we need the players to be able to focus on other things while they're going through these long levels. So that's the alternate part of it, but I think it's evolved since then into just another way to progress your character. So we're definitely open to it.
Just for some context there, Brad was a producer for EverQuest and one of its co-creators.
Yep.
There's a couple of hand-to-hand weapons here, but we don't have a monk in this group, do we?
No, but I am tempted to jump on my monk and let Zoe switch over to heals.
That'd be kind of cool because the monk's got some pretty sweet visuals as well as being an effective class.
So are we going to be okay without CC then? Well, I guess we have Ko. Ko could do some.
Yeah, I just think higher DPS overall would.
Yeah, let's mix it up a little bit, Chris. Good idea.
We got him up.
We'll hold.
Why don't you guys just use GM kill for now while we make the switch?
Just for the record, any type of reliance on Ko is risky. Let's just go ahead and throw that out early.
Oh, I think I just crashed.
Yeah, I just crashed too. Wow. Okay.
I'm here, taking all the gear.
Yeah. We're having a dance party back in here. Where you guys at?
Let's ninja all these corpses go.
Too many GM kills.
Oh, human meat. Oh. Fist traps. Oh, nice. Oh, hey, by the way, Ben, just a random question. How long were you thinking of going today?
We should probably try and wrap it up within, what time is it now? When did we start?
We started about an hour and 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, we should probably wrap it up fairly soon. Maybe another 20 minutes, 20, 30
Yeah,
minutes.
that went by fast.
Yeah, it did.
So about 3 more hours? Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay. Great.
What we initially wanted to do is we wanted to get to a certain boss, kill it, and then come back up and do another boss. I just don't see us having time for that today.
I can clear a little way here.
Why don't you do that? Yeah.
Yeah, not a bad idea, and we'll get some different classes in, and
this next section is going to be
nasty.
A little bit punishing.
Ding 15. All right, I'm ready to go.
Rats, man. Oh, there we go. Can you please elaborate a little on how class progression will work in general? Will there be subclasses? Does anyone want to take that?
No, there will not be subclasses. They want how class progression will be in general. Was that?
Yeah, it sounds like they may have been talking a little bit more about. And as I'm not sure if you were there earlier when they were talking about how classes, well, every class will kind of need to go out and find trainers and get some of their abilities from drops and maybe even do quests and stuff for them. But the real progression in a game like this is not necessarily like down a tech tree. This isn't like a talent tree style game where you like have a bunch of little splits and you pick either or. This one's more about your progression through the game world. So how many different trainers have you gone and found, and how many drops have you gotten?
The choices you've made. I mean, it's not traditional subclassing, but based on the choices you make, you are kind of individualizing your character. So it's kind of a soft, choice-based, decision-based way that you want to progress your character.
I would, just to clarify on that, I think it would be good to say it's not decision-based in the sense that, you know, you have a choice between this ability or between having this skill or having this skill, at least not in general. What we're saying more is to get all of your abilities, to have a full arsenal of abilities. Some of that will require you to discover where those abilities, if it's a scroll, let's say for a wizard, you would have to find where that scroll drops, where it would be found. If it's a skill, you'd have to find, you know, where the certain trainer is, and then be able to, you know, whatever they would require you to do to be deemed worthy to learn what that skill is. That's more what we mean. Not as much you're going to have to decide between, you know, 1, 2, and 3, and you can only choose one.
Right, and that also ties into acclimatization and other things as well, right?
As far as
going to different areas and
yeah, it does. So your climates is going to be more about acclimation, you know, the being able to resist exposure to the elements, whereas and finding, you know, certain key items and things that will help you do that. Whereas atmospheres, that unnatural phenomenon I was talking about earlier, Most of those will require you to find certain specific artifacts in the world to be able to mitigate or traverse through that particular effect. So the darkness, let's say, might be, that we were talking about earlier, might be a special ring that is a unique kind of light source. That's the only way you can actually see in an area like that. So you would have to spend the time finding that ring, perhaps finding it for a few people in your group or in your guild to be able to move effectively through that area, things like that.
Cool. Very cool. Yes, to answer the real question on everyone's mind, yes, there will be fishing in the game.
You might even have a fishing skill in your book.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
I do. Oh, I do. I've been fishing at Aerodune for the last 30 minutes. It doesn't do anything, but I'm gonna keep trying.
So funny, Click. You never know. It might stick one of these times.
I just don't have the right bait.
Mm-hmm.
Gets a better bait. For anyone wondering in chat what we're doing right now, we're actually switching out our enchanter for a monk class. And also, to answer an earlier question, right now we have Mikhail as a dwarf warrior, Aerodune as a human warrior who is would be dual wielding, but he's carrying a torch so we can see a little bit easier. We have Convo as a wizard, right, Convo? I believe. Yeah, Convo is the wizard.
That's correct. Yep.
And Zoe is an enchanter currently, but she's switching over to monk right now. Will the game be free?
She's
No.
actually switching over to the cleric.
Cleric.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. She's switching to cleric. Okay, great.
All right, zoning back in here.
And then Joppa is coming back as the monk, right? Yeah, great.
Oh, did I invite you while you were zoning? Oh, good.
Suplep, that's a great question, but I think it may be a little long for now. And Veshok, their business model, I believe, is purchase the game and then monthly subscription fee. And let me know if that's changed at all, guys.
Yeah, we're going to have, well, we hope to have a trial period, so it'll be the first few levels where you can play free, and then you need to purchase the game and subscribe after that.
You got spiders on us.
Creepers. Yep.
I didn't even see it. That's why they call them creepers.
Yeah, man.
Hold on just one second. My hotkeys here.
Suffocate? No, I don't believe that skills go under any kind of level up process. I think it's once you get a skill, that's the skill. And please, guys, fill in any details there.
They go up through use.
Oh, they do? Well, I think he's talking about I should have said abilities, excuse me.
Oh, gotcha.
So
What was
the exact
question
the exact question was, and I should move out of here. Will skills, and in this case I believe it means abilities, like backstab, will they also level up the more you use them?
The skills that support the abilities that the abilities are associated with will go up. So to a certain extent every time you level. So that's going to help you indirectly.
But then the skill themselves, like I'm never going to get backstab 2, backstab 3.
No.
Cool.
No, a skill will either exist with you from the time you get it until the end. And so backstab, for example, would be a skill that stays with you. It doesn't evolve. It doesn't change. It just scales up in terms of its effectiveness, the damage you deal with it. Whereas other abilities, like let's say the wizard's Shelter of Frail Energies that they get at level 1, that's like a line of abilities that you actually do get replacement abilities along the way in the same line. So Shelter of Frail Energies at level 1 becomes Shelter of Weak Energies at level 8, Shelter of Energy at level 12, Shelter of Strong Energies. So we have kind of both. That may be a poor example because it's pretty flat, but there are you can think of it in terms of like lines. Certain abilities belong to certain lines that will evolve in power, potency, effect as you level up. So yeah, I mean the answer is kind of yes, but not in a ranking way. We're not going to have Fireball ranked 1, 2, 10, that kind of thing.
Cool, great. Man, this guy.
Yeah, so-
okay, does he have a
so
damage shield on?
Yeah. so what you guys are experiencing here is the damage.
Yep. This is what gave our
I'm
tester
sitting here
such
just
an
like,
issue.
either this is the most wicked dot I've ever had, or
Yeah, sorry
Now, you
guys, I
don't-
ran
you
out
don't
of
get,
mana.
okay, I was gonna say you don't get damaged by healing.
So I'm assuming, do we have a class with us that can dispel that?
No.
No, we don't. So the only real strategy, the only effective strategy, is to be very selective about the damage you deal. That means most effective strategy we found is to not auto attack, but to limit yourself to your most damaging single shot abilities. So backstab would be one. I've got a few on my monk, and then direct damage nukes.
Okay, cool.
What's the warrior supposed to do? Just kick him?
Oh Jesus! Train at at the beginning here.
Let me try to get you out of there.
Woo! Okay.
Oh,
here's
did we
here's
just
what gets
summon
funny.
mobs on us?
I'm still aggroed.
Oh my goodness, the train at the
Oh,
zone.
look at the train at the zone.
Can I hide or
Oh
sneak
my
or something to
God.
break aggro? Nope,
Yes.
I can't. No,
Oh my
no.
God.
I think this is it for our little adventure here.
I've never seen anything quite like that.
Yeah, I am very much still red screened right now.
It's gonna get ugly here. Let me see if
I
they're,
just turned aggro off for Ko.
Okay, cool.
Are you still red screened?
Oh, very much so. Yes.
Is your auto attack running or no?
No, it is not. I can do a quick relog or something if that helps. Oh, there we go. That fixed it. Great. That did it. Thank you, thank you.
Yep.
Time to sacrifice Ko for the greater good. Oh, that's rude, chat.
All right. So what was the strategy here?
Summon me back, please. So just to say again, the Blaspheme wraiths have a damage shield that's pretty significant, and so auto attack is suicide. Melee classes want to limit themselves to their most damaging single shot abilities, so that would be backstab, for example, single target direct damage nukes, avoid damage over time spells, damage over time abilities, like your leaking and toxic wound. Basically anytime the mob takes damage, you're going to take damage. So
Oh, wow.
the most damaging single shot abilities is what we want to try and stick to.
Cool.
I'll just stick to taunt.
And maybe throw some angering blows in there.
Yeah.
Are there plans to add dispel-like spells for these situations?
Yes,
at higher
there will
levels?
be
Cool.
cleanse, dispel, and cleanse type spells that are more general. We do have cures in, and there are a couple of situations where those are mandatory for a successful kill, but we do not have the magic-based general purpose cleanse type.
Do you think you can split these, Joppa?
I don't think I have Feign Death yet.
By the way, 25 people total in the zone, including us.
And they're all dead. Yeah, FD's what, 16 or 17?
It's 16 right now.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, if you guys are ready, I'll snag these guys again.
Are we ready?
Let's do it.
Just gotta wait for that roamer to go back.
Yeah.
Oh, Monk Garb is looking great.
Hey, this time around, I'll just try to root the mob on the right.
Oh, that's a good idea. All right. Here we go.
There goes nothing.
And he resisted a sec. There we go.
All right, splitting them out.
Remember, turn auto attack off.
Does this guy have a damage shield?
I'm
not seeing any damage. I think we're good.
Yep, it's an ability, so he'll cast it on himself.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So careful with the dots then. Yep, there it is. Okay.
Splitting them out again.
trying to.
Looks like it got aggro on Joppa.
I'm gonna go down. It's always out of mana.
Yeah, it's a little tough without an enchanter.
So you can just see how changing our group composition really changed the dynamics.
Yeah, and if we were a group at this level, we would not be trying to push into this room at this point. That would be
Suicide?
obviously that it would be a foolish decision. We would probably be hanging back in the hall we were just in for a while, get a couple levels, gear up with those no-rent weapons, and then try.
I'll tell you this: if we were a regular group and we tried that, we would have wiped, and then working our way back down, I would have said, "Yeah, no, let's not do that again."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We just to get back to our corpses.
No, what's kind of funny is, you know, this is kind of exactly how this should go. I mean, this type of game isn't easy. You know, I mean, I personally, this is the first time I've played this class. You know, we're playing like this is kind of, I kind of expected this to go exactly like this today, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the point, right? I mean, we're not trying to script this in a way that's like, you know, here we start here and move all the way here, and it totally trivializes the fact that there are actual level ranges, and the mobs do increase in difficulty quite a bit. Group makeup is important, and we're just not high enough level to make it through here. So you're going to see a lot more dying if we continue to try to do it. And we were able to see, you know, lots of testers responding to that. There was, I think, the average level of tester that was able to move through this area was about level 16 or 17 in a full group, maybe a few lower level than that in the group, but yeah, we're still 2 or 3 levels low.
And
we've got 2 warriors in the group.
And we have default gear.
Paying the price.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, we haven't been out getting good gear off name mobs or anything like that. We're all in pretty much as basic as it gets. So yeah.
Code, did you release?
I released and then was summoned back.
Oh, I don't see you.
I'm right next to you right now, actually, right in front of you.
Hmm.
I'm not sneaking
Must
or
be
anything.
bugged. Me, I must be bugged.
Cool.
So
Okay, we're
yeah.
quickly running out of time. Was there something that we wanted to see before we wrap up?
Yeah, what's the finale, Chris?
I think we should try Arathna if she's up.
Yeah, I think that would be cool if we went to the zone and maybe turned Dagger off and ran to her, Chris.
Yeah, let's do that.
Or just have somebody go there and summon us, probably would be smoother.
Well, if we run with aggro off, then we can see it.
Right, you can see the zone. It's
Yeah.
exactly been-
Cool.
And
Cool.
I think Co's aggro is still off from last time I did it, so we should be all right.
Cool.
You guys all have GM commands to turn it off?
Yep.
Okay. I can't see half the group, so I'm just going to follow, I don't know. The only person I can see is Aradune right now.
Maybe if you zone real quick, Ben.
Oh, you know what? No, we're good. We're good now.
Alright, I guess everyone just check to see if their aggro is on or off, and you're not turning someone else's aggro on or off.
Just go with us here at the starting point.
I'm right up with you guys right now.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Joppa, following you. Cheat mode activated.
Joppa mode on.
Hopefully my aggro off stuck.
Yeah,
Guess
and
we'll find out soon.
quickly if not.
Yeah, we'll find out.
What did Joppa turn into? Joppa hung up his hammer for a monk. So he is actually a monk right now. And then our cleric duties were taken over by Zoe. Ooh,
Be careful not to train this group.
So the people on this realm right now are really big fans of yours, Co, because we're doing this stream at least. We've kept servers up for longer than they normally are, so they're pretty happy with that.
And
It's
they're
my pleasure.
and they're going to be immortalized in the stream. Yeah, it's awesome.
Forever. That's right. Oh, quick random question. Can you consent and allow other people to loot your corpse?
Consent to drag, yes, but not to loot yet.
Cool. Okay.
There you go.
Thanks, Nadaki. Man, this level looks really cool. Man, this room would be a pain in a good way. Uh-oh.
All right, so she's
I think
not
I was
up.
admiring the atmosphere and may have lost you guys. Oh, wait, I got this handy little pointer thing up here in the top left. Did I go this way? Yeah, there we go. Cool. I'm not used to having those little arrows in the party menu in the top left. That's great.
Yeah, we got the arrows and the little class icons and.
So we're gonna try something kind of interesting here, okay? I want you to follow me. Harathna is not up. If she was, she'd be in this little kind of area back in here. But we're gonna climb up.
Ah, he's a little climbing.
Cool. So for people that have seen it just for the first time right then, how exactly is climbing going to work?
Well, we've shown, I'm pretty sure, in our stream, when we streamed Amber Fate, the Frozen Dungeon, that we showed off quite a bit of climbing in there, but it's really just to provide a sense of vertical progression. We're used to, moving through dungeons semi-linearly and on pretty horizontal progression plane with maybe, kind of going down a little bit or up some ramps, but with climbing specifically, it allows us to get almost purely vertical progression elements, which is just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun level design wise. It's really interesting when you start considering kind of the layers of social interaction that happen when you're less of a distance away from someone horizontally and more vertically, and can look down and look up and see things going on. So it's just something we're exploring really at this point. Some of it will be like what we just saw, just little points where you can climb up and move up. Some of it will be massive, climbs up into the far far sky kind of thing, with where a fall would be catastrophic. So we'll when you put that kind of height together with a climate like wind shear, one of our extreme climate types, then you have a recipe for some interesting encounters, interesting level design.
Very cool.
All right.
So
Anything else?
I brought us up here because she's not up, and so for the end here, I was going to just spawn her up in this little section.
Oh, okay, cool.
And
I'm gonna put my
hopefully
sword
we won't
back on.
aggro her from below. Let's make sure aggro's off, just so that she can spawn in and we can kind of get ourselves mentally prepared before we engage.
Have a dialogue with her before we attack.
Yeah. This is a very challenging fight, so I don't expect us to survive, but it'll be fun.
Well, judging from our track record so far today, I think you might be pretty spot on with that.
My favorite finale is a wipe. So there you go.
Couldn't agree more.
Spawning her now.
Oh,
it's a spot. We didn't. Oh no, I didn't agree to a big spider.
Yes. All right. Are we ready?
Yep. I'm gonna spin her around.
Let's
See
do
what I
it.
did there.
I'll be back here.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll be heading towards the zone line. Here we go.
Oh, jeez. I got tainted. I got tainted again. Oh, Lord. Is that a persistent AoE going on?
Oh,
She does have a few AEs on her.
Just
Yeah.
web me and Ben pretty good. Shut us down.
I am getting destroyed. I'm going to back out a little bit. Oh, my God. This mob is no joke. I think I'm dead. Oh, my God. Damn.
She is definitely beatable. We've had quite a few groups the last day or so beat her.
Oh
That's
yeah.
probably why she
Oh,
was
it's been
up.
fantastic.
Wow.
The ingenuity of our testers has been really impressive. Just seeing them work out how to do it, you know.
Emergent behavior.
It's been really fun. Kudos to all of our testers. Just to say it again, you guys have just done an amazing job with this zone, especially with these more difficult encounters. Sticking with it, being patient, trying different things, and it's been really fun. It's been one of the most satisfying, most rewarding parts of this process is being able to watch you guys throw yourselves at it, and the high quality feedback that we've been able to read on the forums, the pre-alpha forums. It's just been really wonderful and really helpful. So kudos to all of you.
I gotta say, the difficulty I've witnessed today is very promising. You know, if you have a really slow combat system and it's really easy, that is when most people are like, wow, this is boring. But when you have a slow combat system but still maintain that level of difficulty we saw today, that is very promising. That is very promising.
Are you at the zone line, Co?
Yes.
These guys are okay. Good.
Oh yes. Oh, I was the first to go. I died in yeah. That little DOT man just shredded me like a wet paper towel. Whew. I'm looking forward to getting back there one day and killing that spider.
Drop some good stuff.
Whoa.
So if you like what you saw today, head on over to pantheonmmo.com. We are largely, this project is largely funded by crowdfunding, so there's lots of available pledge packages there. If you want to see more Pantheon, we will be at PAX East on starting April 5th. And also Jim Lee is going to be streaming on Tuesday at 8 o'clock Pacific time, his Twitch channel. Lots of ways to check out Pantheon.
You said Jim Lee will be streaming this?
Yes, Tuesday.
And is he twitch.tv/Jim Lee?
You got it, yeah.
Awesome. There you go. Perfect. Well, very cool, guys. Before we break here, were there any final thoughts anyone would like to pass along?
I just said them.
Perfect. Well, then we're good to go. Well, guys, this has been another look at Pantheon. It has been a huge amount of fun. I want to thank all of you guys for being here. Really appreciate all the great questions and all the great feedback today. A huge shout out again to all of our friends over at Visionary Realms. Brad McQuaid, Chris Perkins, Kim Morrison, Tim Wathen, and the one and only Benjamin Dean. Guys, thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us,
Thank
man.
you, Co. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Awesome. On that note, see you guys later.
Take care.
Adios.
Fantastic. Well, guys, that is going to be it from me today. I really hope you enjoyed this. I can tell you right now that I'm already looking forward to the next one. By the way, for some people asking about bards, I think the class stuff they kind of address that pretty often in the forums, which, by the way, a lot of great questions today. A lot of those questions are answered in the forums. They have a very active forum over at Pantheon MMO. Lots of FAQs, lots of answers about classes, what they have coming, how to pledge if you're interested in that. All that good stuff is over at pantheonmmo.com. So if your question did not get answered today, make sure to check them out and you can get going there. On that note, that is going to be it.